everyone, welcome back to the Hakian channel for today's maths topic. So today we are doing factorizing quadratic trinomials. So let's get started. Today's learning intention is to be able to know how to solve and form a quadratic trinomial, and I've just shown that indicated over here on the right as x squared plus bx plus c. Okay, so your success criteria is that you can factorize a quadratic trinomial, which is one of these. You need to be able to find the numbers that multiply to give c, which is the second success criteria, and you need to find numbers that add to give b as shown. And I'll go into that in more detail, but I just need you to familiarize yourself with the generic formula. So quadratic trinomials are presented in a form as x squared plus bx plus c. B and c are numbers normally. So in this case, we only have letters just to show you the general look of it. So over here, I've just given you an example. I've just changed my the color of my pen to yellow, so it's just easier. So this is the example, x squared plus 7x plus 10. So what you are trying to achieve from looking at this is to find out what two numbers times together will give you 10, but added together will give you 7. So this one over here is times, and this one over here is add. So let's just have a look. So over here, I've just provided a cop down of what you see above. Now, when you factorize, okay, it's always going to be x something with a number and x something with a number. It could be a plus, it could be a minus, but we will go into some worked examples to show you how to work that out. So if we look here, okay, two numbers that times together that will give me 10 is 5 and 2. When I add 5 and 2 together, they give me 7. But the symbol in front of the 5 and in front of the 2 has to be positive because the equation says plus 7, 6. Okay, it doesn't say minus 7, 6. It says plus 7, 6. So that's what I'm not going to go into detail on this slide as to how we would do a step-by-step because I want to show you using a worked example. But I just want to show you the general idea. You know, over here, 5 times 2 is 10, but we need a positive 5 and a positive 2 to give me a positive 10. And we need a positive 5 and a positive 2 added together to give me a positive 7. That's what I need you to work your head around for this. Now, the first example we're going to look at is A. So I'm just going to circle it down there. So we've got x squared plus 9x plus 14. So what two numbers add together to give me 14? So we could literally go through, you know, times tables, but I know that 2 times 7 equals 14. All right, so that 2 and 7 tick off being times together. Now, if I add 2 plus 7, will that give me my b value? So this is c and this is your b value because the formula is x squared plus bx plus c, as I showed you at the start. So does 2 and 7 give you 9? Yes. So this is c and that is b, and they both have been ticked off. So when I write the factorization of this quadratic expression, it would be x plus 7, x plus 2. Okay, now if you wanted to write x plus 2 and x plus 7, that would also be correct. And you can simply just check that by expanding the bracket. So by getting rid of the brackets, and to do that, you would multiply, okay, both of them. So x times x is x squared. Okay, x times 7 is 7x. All right, 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, and if I was to simplify that, it would be x squared plus 7x plus 2x, so they both have x's, 9x plus 14. And that would give me straight back to what that was. So you definitely can check if your factorization is correct by simply expanding your brackets, all right? But it will take a while, a bit of a practice, okay, guys? So let's do the second one. And like I've said previously, if you need to pause the video, feel free to do so. So the next one is x squared plus 4x minus 12. Now, we can see that there's a minus in front of the 12. So now we need to think what times together will give me negative 12. But added together will give me positive 4. Okay? What will it give? So what we could do is I could say negative 6 times 2 from the top of my head. Okay, so the symbol that's in front of this 2, we know that it's a positive because we don't write plus 2 here. Okay, when we do 3 times 3, we don't do plus 3 times plus 3, positive 3. Okay, we just know it's positive. So over here, we know the 2 is positive. So 6 times 2 is 12. Negative and a positive would equal a negative because we know that a negative and a positive will equal a negative. So negative 6 times positive 2 equals minus 12. Does that say minus 12? Yes, it does. So that confirms C. But will it confirm our B letter? So let's have a look. So if I add negative 6 plus 2, will that give me positive 4? Okay, it will give me a negative 4. So that is actually not correct, this one here, because we are looking for positive 4, not negative 4. So I can't use negative 6 and positive 2. So if I had 6 times negative 2, all right, so that's a plus minus, which is a minus. 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, so that ticks off the C, which is the negative 12. Will it tick off the B being positive 4? Okay, so we can say 6 plus minus 2, okay, plus minus is a minus according to our little diagram up here. So 6 minus 2 equals 4. So does it give us positive 4 for B? Yes, it does. So we now know, okay, that the numbers we would be using is positive 6 and minus 2. Okay, as we can see in the 2 that I've squared. So we would write as the answer x plus 6 and x minus 2. All right, and like I said, if you want to check that, you can expand the brackets. So you can multiply the first digit x by both in the second bracket. So x times x is x squared. X times minus 2 is minus 2x. 6 times x is 6x. Okay, 6 times negative 2 is minus 12, and that would give us x squared plus 4x minus 12. Okay, and that would be the same as the question, so we know that this is correct right here. So now we're going to do number C. So C is x squared minus 7x plus 12. So what question? I always like to start from the one that is at the end, so our little letter C. So we're looking for what times the same numbers will equal 12, but added together will equal negative 7. So I know that 4 times 3 is 12. Okay? But I know that if I added 4 and 3 together, it would give me positive 7, which is not correct, okay? So then my next question is, well, what about negative 4 times 3? Well, that would give me negative 12. Is that negative 12? No, it's not. What about negative 4 times negative 3? So plus is plus. 4 times 3 is 12. So this, we want a positive 12. That gave me a positive 12 for C. So now, if I add them two together, okay, positive minus is a minus, so it's actually negative 4 minus 3. Will that give me negative 7? Yes, it does for B. So I know that the two numbers I need to put in my factorization brackets is negative 4 and negative 3. So I would write x minus 4 and x minus 3. Now, you might be wondering, is it always x? I would definitely say yes. Most of the time, they give you many x examples. So it is best to be practicing your writing with x. Remember that it's like a C backwards and forwards. It is not a multiplication sign, okay? Because if you do 4x, that will look like 4 with a multiplication sign, and we don't want that. Okay, so if you're going to write 4x, it needs to look like 4x, like a backward C and a forward C. All right, now we're going to move on to quadratic expressions that have numbers and perhaps require you to do more steps. So over here, we can see that that formula there is not the same as x squared plus bx plus c. I think we can all agree that the previous questions didn't actually have a number in front of the x squared. Do we all see that? Yes, I hope we see that. So here we see 3x. So the first thing you need to do is you actually need to take out the number. Okay, you need to take that number out. So if I take out the number, that means I have to divide every single component by that number. So 3 divided by 3, 6 divided by 3, 45 divided by 3. Okay, so 3 divided by 3 is 1, but we don't write 1 in front of our numbers, do we? We know that there's 1. We know it's positive, but we don't write that, okay? Negative 6 divided by 3, or 6 divided by 3, which is negative 2, because the sign belongs to the number. Remember, the sign in front of it belongs to the number, guys. So negative 45 divided by 3 is negative 15. Okay, I'm just going to write that a bit neater for you guys. All right, so now that we've got that, now we have taken 3 out, we now can see that that is in the form of x squared plus bx plus c. Can we see that? So the next question is, what number times together will give me negative 15? And what number added together will give me negative 2, which is your C and your B. All right? So you can definitely play around with numbers, but multiplication does come into handy, especially when you do this. So I know that negative 5 times 3, okay, would give me negative 15, and that negative 5 plus 3 would give me 2. I know that. Okay, but you might need to, do a bit of play. You might have to do 5 times 3 and realize that that gives you positive 15. So that's wrong because you're after a negative 15. You might think 5 times negative 3 does give you negative 15, which is correct for C, but I'm just going to write at the bottom. 5 plus negative 3 will give me positive 2, and that's not correct for B. All right, so you may need to play it out. So we now know that the numbers required to factorize this would be negative 5 and positive 3. Now, because you have a 3 outside the bracket, you just need to write your brackets as such. So you would go 3, okay, bracket, x minus 5, because that's the first number we've got, and x plus 3. All right, and that would be your answer to factorize that quadratic equation above. So it does take a bit of practice, but it does involve a lot of multiplication all the way up to your 12s and just little common division. I would prefer it if you didn't use a calculator, especially, when I did 45 divided by 3. Like, if you could just do really quick, simple division on your paper, okay, that would be probably more ideal. Than using a calculator, because you can't always rely on a test. So that's all for today, and I just wanted to say thanks for watching. Remember to ask your teacher questions if you are unsure. Thank you. Bye.